Welcome to video 2 of this 3-video series. In this quick video, we'll talk about some truths about translations. Now, I personally have struggled with this in the past, even as a native signer, and I'm sure that this is a topic that impacts most everyone who wants to sign worship music. Now, the question is, should I be signing ASL or PSE? And the answer is yes and no. Now, I promise you that the fact that there's not one answer for all songs is a good thing. The truth is that you have a choice as a sign language worshiper about how to sign a song. And some of the questions that you should ask yourself are, what's my sign language level? Who am I signing for? What is their preference? Who am I teaching? And what are the concepts in the song? Now, on a basic level, ASL sentences are structured totally differently than English. So if you're translating a song, you're often going to be signing different words than the lyrics at even different times in the lyrics because you're going to have to switch around the syntax. Now, sometimes it's pretty easy to make that shift. I tried to find a song to use and I ended up choosing the classic hymn, Let Us Go Unto the House of the Lord. This is by Robert Lowry. Now, the lyric goes, I was glad when I heard them say, let us go to the house of the Lord. Now, if we were signing that in ASL, we would sign with a very happy face because it's like we're saying words with our expressions. Happy, finish, hear the Lord say, his house we will go. Now, that is actually a simpler one. But a more complex song will require that you take concepts, simplify them down into words that you'll find in sign language, and then structure the sentence in proper ASL grammar. And then, by the end of that, if your deaf or hard of hearing viewers are watching you sign the song and they're watching a display with the lyrics, they could be a little bit lost. So when you're speaking in sign with people who are deaf or hard of hearing, you definitely want to stick to ASL. But for songs, it's really different. It depends. It's a combination of the simplicity of songs and worship and signing, and it's all wrapped around who your audience is. If you're signing for someone who's deaf, you'll absolutely want to ask them. If you're teaching younger kids how to sign, you can make it as simple as you need to. And if you're signing as your personal worship unto the Lord, it really is just up to you. The important thing is that you make sure that you're choosing your signs well and that you're signing them correctly. And so that's really what my heart is for you to be focused on. And so in many cases, signing something closer to PSE or Pidgin Signed English is more appropriate. Sometimes the song is better communicated and the worship is more inclusive when the words from the song are sung in sign with the song. Now, most importantly though, ask the deaf or hard of hearing people that you're serving, if you're signing for others, what they prefer. Include them in the process and then eventually they'll be leading you. I've seen this several times in deaf churches and congregations, and it is so powerful. I was once a guest at a wonderful church in Garland, Texas with a vibrant, amazing deaf community. Either the interpreter or one of the members of the congregation would lead the sign language worship for signers. And if it was a deaf member, they'd actually have an interpreter sitting in the congregation in the front row, facing the interpreter or facing the person who is leading the worship to help with the timing of the song. But the deaf or the hard of hearing member was actually leading the sign language worship for the congregation. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So when I was also first inspired to worship and sign, I went to a deaf church in Overland Park, Texas, and they actually had a voice in interpreter who would speak the sign language worship and the service for the people who were hearing in the audience. It was totally the reverse of what you would have in a hearing church. And I was so blessed by them and their love for the Lord and for their worship. So again, it's a science and an art. But the best part is that it's a creative process during which you get to press into the Lord and ask Him what He says about the song, what the song means, and how to express it. And you get to listen for His response. If you are just starting with sign language worship, my best advice for you would be to just start with the song, the lyrics, and the signs for those words. And then just practice that. And then as you get more experience, you can experiment with adding the ASL syntax. Now, I have a system for making this process much easier. It's my Song to Signs e-course, which is a step-by-step process that I designed to help you confidently learn how to sign any song. So I hope that that was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. We're going to talk about kids worship, and I'll be teaching you a couple of signs that you'll need to know to get started.